Hey, how's it going guys? It's Saud here, and in this tutorial I'm gonna teaching you calling JavaScript function from C. Typically, when calling JavaScript code from WebAssembly module doesn't fit in with what WASM is really used for. For this reason, Mscripten has changed its approach to executing JavaScript code in that we don't ever import new function to our. Instead, Mscripten provide us a few helper functions through mscripten.h library. Mscripten.h is essentially being the C version of pmble.js. So let's see a few of those functions. I'll start with a new module, duplicate our demo.c file, call new version import.c just to remind us what it is for, and get rid of everything except main with the log message WASM ready. Then most importantly, to get access to script C helper function, we have to include the script and library header file. We don't need the string library either, so get rid of that too. Include mscripten.h with our mscripten functions ready. Let's see the most basic way of calling a JavaScript function from our C code. Note that this is the first helper and all the variation of it will execute a piece of JavaScript code using JavaScript eval function. For anyone not familiar with eval, I've linked the documentation link in the description below. This simply means the browser a string of JavaScript code and have it to execute as it is, which we do with mscripten_run_script, and its one and only argument being the string of JavaScript to have evaluated or executed. Make this console.log hello from C. Please pay the attention of extra quotation mark used. Now head over to the terminal so we can change the output file to import.js. Get rid of the exported function, meaning that only main will be exported and called automatically, and change the compile C code to that new import.c file. That's done, so we can update index.html to load the new WASM with import.js. I'll also remove the wrap function. Now restart the server, back to the browser, reload, and there you have it, hello from C. Simple enough. This function we use to execute the JavaScript code. Then mscripten run script also comes with few variation. Back to the code. The first of this is essentially the same but will allow us to call the given JavaScript asynchronously. Just put mscripten async run script and then compile that, and now we get an error. Fix that, compile again, restart the server and reload the page. Exactly 2 seconds later we get this log message which I printed. You can also change log message to alert, recompile that, save that, restart the server, reload the web browser, and yeah. So executing arbitrary pieces of JavaScript might come in useful, but most often, should you ever need to call JavaScript from WebAssembly module, you will likely to use a return value from that code instead. To demonstrate, I will create a simple JavaScript function here in the index.html, get num which return 22. Now back to our C code. To get the return value of the JavaScript function being an integer assigned to a C variable, the variable being JSVal is value equals to again mscripten_run_script but the int version, which will call getNum our JavaScript function, name and assign the return value to this variable, meaning mscripten run script and essentially run the result of the JavaScript it calls. We can check this by logging it with printf, although we all have to use slightly different syntax. If you know the C syntax, you will realize what I'm doing. And compile this, restart the server, head back to the browser, reload, that's work. For value we get num 22, and with our asynchronous call working fine. Change that async call to back to console log instead, just so we don't get interrupted after each reload. Okay, so that was getting a number returned from JavaScript or an int. So to do the same with the string return from JavaScript, we can copy this string in this, which we will call JavaScript getString function. I will create in a sec. Change int to string, head back to index.html, duplicate getNum, return a usable string value, get string, returning hello from JS, and that should do. Compile that. We have a problem. Fix that. Try again. We again have a problem. Fix again. Recompile that, and done. Restart the server, reload the page, and we can see our get string function and our async call works fine. So that covers calling JavaScript and using the return values of both type number or string. Mscripton does however provide a somewhat faster alternative to this learn script helper function by means of inline JavaScript function declaration. Again, using a helper function to make doing this easier, this time outside the main function I'll declare a reusable JavaScript function, essentially being an import declaration using em_js. First argument being the return type void, then the function name called the JS function argument. Exactly we would declare for example int n, and finally in parentheses the JavaScript call another console dialog call from emjs is appending that argument. This is being a function declaration, we can call the newly declared function in main.js function as we named it here, passing 144. Save this, recompile, restart the server, head over to the browser and reload, and we can see call from emjs 144. That's the basic of calling JavaScript from C. But before we finish this lesson, I really want to stress the importance of limiting the C JavaScript interaction, especially when you're dealing with the strings. C is good at handling numbers, not strings, so much, and as we'll see later in the course, then this way WebAssembly sign having a C do all the heavy lifting of computational. Just something to keep in mind. Nonetheless, now we know how to call JavaScript should we ever need it to. So that's it for today's video guys. See you guys in the next tutorial.